Greg, is there any buzz about Ben Chikwama? I think his name is.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I don't
mean,
know that it's like start in week one buzz, but Ben
mhm.
Chukwuma is a guy we wrote about in April after the draft. Really cool story. One of the better stories. I don't get to write many player features anymore, so I was really happy I got to write him. Ben's a guy who literally had not played any football games in his life this time 2 years ago, which is
Oh,
amazing for an
great.
NFL player. We're used to guys, didn't pick up football till his junior year of high school or something. And Ben came to this country at age 17, barely played any sports in the United States, was just a student in college, open tryout, walked on, made the team, had 3 years on the team before we played a snap. And again, is a really athletic, really big tackle. Didn't get drafted, but is almost exactly what you want an undrafted rookie to be, just as a completely raw, just a block of clay to mold and try and you don't have to make him ready in week one. Ben's probably a guy that's going to be their eighth or ninth offensive lineman if he makes the cut. They don't have a whole lot of experience depth at tackle besides Charlie Heck. So, he lines up really well as someone they can keep. They gave him, I think, the largest bonus of any undrafted rookie in the NFL this year. It's like $300,000 guaranteed, which, again, that can just be a year in the practice squad. But he kind of lines up as somebody that can help them and be on the 53. Sometimes, you have a rookie, you think about Elijah Klein last year, made the 53, barely dressed, barely played at all. He kind of lines up for that role. They're centers, and also they have a guy that's an undrafted rookie center that also could be in that role. Maybe as the eighth and ninth lineman. They didn't draft an offensive lineman this year, so it's easier for an undrafted rookie to sneak in. But Ben's a guy they're really excited about. I don't know that he can show so much to go from. I think he's played 23 games or something like that in his life, so that doesn't line up directly with can you start in week one and play at a high level. But he's a guy that's more of a developmental tackle. He's somebody who, if things go right, sticks on the 53, is probably inactive for much of this rookie year, but can develop. In a year from now, Charlie Heck's only on 1 year deals. I mean, he could be their swing tackle a year from now.
Is
Do
it?
do the
Go
Bucks have a
ahead.
chance at a guy like Petta coming back and possibly competing in camp and trying to give them an option? Maybe even Klein going in there. Are there other
Yeah.
guys on this team that they might still give the opportunity to, just to make sure not only kind of keep fire on on Heck's ass? I'm a big fire on ass guy, but also just to kind of be, make sure we have the right guy there, the best available guy there, as opposed to just letting him be the one. Obviously, there's something to be said about letting you get as many reps as possible, but could a guy like Opeta be a guy that could possibly get in the mix
Petta's a
here?
guard, not a tackle.
I know, but you never
Opeta's
know.
been a guard. Opeta played tackle with the Eagles. So, I mean, he would be
Okay.
in play. I mean, Tua Opeta hasn't had any snaps in a year, hasn't done anything physically with the team since last year's preseason. So there's some physical things he's going to have to overcome. Didn't go at all. We don't think we saw him at all in OTAs in minicamp at all. So I don't know where he is, whether he'd be ready to start a camp. If he's physically ready, he's a guy that would be in the mix there. He's somebody who started in the NFL. Again, when they brought him in, it was with some guard tackle flexibility. He would have been a guard here, was competing with Bredesen a year ago when he got hurt. But he would be a guy that they could look at in a pinch as someone that would compete. He's probably the only other guy in the roster they could bring in that actually has NFL experience to compete with Charlie Heck. Elijah Klein is another good example. I mean, they like Elijah. Barely played last year, mostly played kind of on special team snaps, if you will. But it's someone they like, is someone they're bringing along. I think if they liked Elijah Klein to be the swing tackle, they probably wouldn't have signed Charlie Heck.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're yielding to experience there. It's kind of like if you lose Justin School, you'd much rather have somebody who's been in the league 7 years, has 23 starts, as opposed to going straight to a guy who's never started a game and barely has meaningful snaps. So that's not to say that Elijah Klein in the next 2 months can't win him over. I mean, if he outplays Charlie Heck, if it's preseason and he's outplaying him, and then in week 2 they say, hey, let's put Elijah out with the ones and see what he can do, they're going to do everything they can to have the best five out there. It's not like you have to lock in on Charlie Heck because he's the most experienced guy you have at that spot. If they don't like the way things are going, they can bring someone in too. I mean, there are veteran tackles. There are guys that have connections to guys on the staff that are unsigned right now, might be unsigned a week or two into camp that they can bring in that they can look at. Right now, it sounds like they want to go in-house. And again, it's young guys like Klein, like Ben Chikwama, that if you bring in a stopgap to take a spot on the 53, it's going to push one of those guys off the 53. And if you put Ben Chikwama through waivers, you might not get him back on the practice squad. So
Donovan Smith.
I don't know if it's Donovan Smith, but again, Donovan Smith, you're like, oh, he'd be familiar. Donovan Smith hasn't played with this OC, hasn't played with this offensive line coach, hasn't played with his run game coach. I don't know who on the line besides, I mean, if Wirfs is out, I don't know that he's played with anyone in this offensive line. So it's kind of one of those where familiarity only goes so far with that.